All right, you wanna get into the other part of this?
Let's get into the breakdown.
I just really wanted to cough into the microphone. So, The Thunderbolts is a movie about superheroes, but they're not really superheroes. Well, one of them is. Three of them eventually. No, 4. So one of them's not. Is that a great way to explain that?
Clear as mud.
One of them doesn't have superpowers, and it's our main character, Yelena.
Yeah, Yelena's awesome. Oh, I was going to say this too. I think because you still haven't watched Hawkeye.
No,
she's in Hawkeye, and you'll love her in that too.
Yeah,
because she's just great
with Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, who was also in Sinners, and said some crazy stuff in that movie.
And allegedly is going to be in the next Avengers movie.
She should be.
With Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
We can only hope.
Yeah, Killmonger makes a comeback.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it too.
Wakanda needs a new Black Panther. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, Keeping Up with the Thundermans begins with Yelena jumping off of a building.
Very cool.
And carrying out a mission to retrieve some stuff or get rid of it. Yeah. And she explodes a building, which was a practically done effect, which is kind of cool. Did you know that?
As was jumping off the building.
Yeah, they really liked marketing this movie as not just like another Marvel movie, but like they did practical effects, which I think is kind of silly because, do that more. I've been doing it. Look, I've been working on a project. I'm going off on my own tangent. I've been working on a project, and in all of every single bit of research that I've been going through, there's so much evidence to suggest that mixing practical effects with visual effects is 100% of the time better than just having the digital visual effects.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think if you watch older movies where all they had was practical, I think that's a pretty good showcase for hey, practical effects.
Yeah. Well, movies used to be expensive because if they wanted a spaceship, they would build a spaceship. So there wasn't like a little mix in between. Anyways, Yelena is doing missions. She's working as like a free agent and isn't enjoying it.
And not loving it. She's kind of getting over it.
Which Jarvis used to sympathize with better, but now he's out of the rat race.
Yeah.
Was that a great way of putting it?
Not because I don't want to be necessarily.
Well, hey,
I'm in a weird spot.
It was no secret you didn't like your job.
Yeah.
Now if they find this podcast, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because they know. Anyways, if anyone's looking for a strong, handsome man to do some work around the house,
I'm your guy.
Just like Yelena is the guy. So she ends up dropping by her dad's house.
Yeah.
To go talk to him about what to do when you don't feel like you belong anywhere, something like that. And he said, "What do you mean? You got such a great job, one that I would love to have if you could hook me up with it."
Yeah, if you don't want to do it anymore, give me your boss's number and
I'll do anything. I'll do it. We could go together. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was very silly about it. And she's like, "Okay, he's brushing me off, so whatever." And she gets another mission from, I forget her name. Do you remember her name? Valentina, who is part of the government for some reason, but I guess that makes sense nowadays. We're not a political channel.
No, we're not.
But there's always politicians people don't want in the government, so that's how that works.
Bucky plays
Bucky is a congressman, yeah.
He's a politician in this movie, so.
for a whole 10 months, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, some ridiculously short amount of time.
Yeah.
Before he starts doing secret agent stuff again.
So Valentina is this corrupt politician who's been trying to do a bunch of shady stuff. You can
just shorten that and just say politician. You don't have to.
You're right. So Valentina's a politician.
No need for that.
They laugh at us too.
But
their laugh is a lot louder and a lot more rich.
Yeah, it's those laughs. Those laughs that turn into tears because it's you have to laugh so you don't cry, but you cry anyway because it's too sad.
Yeah, they cause us personal problems, which allow us to laugh at them, and they take all of our money, which makes it right for them to laugh at us. That's how the government works, and that's how this movie works as well. So Valentina is like, the government. They're coming to check up on all of the things that I've been hiding from them. So now I got to get rid of them all, including her 5 different free agents she uses to do her dirty work.
Yeah, she's definitely doing some. She's definitely doing some really bad stuff, and she's got a bunch of secret agents that kill people for her around the world, and including Yelena, including
Ghost,
U.S. agent John Walker,
also known as the artist formerly known as Captain America.
I like to call him Walker, U.S. Ranger.
I did my time.
And then we have Ghost.
How dare you kill my partner?
We have Ghost from the Ant-Man movies. We have Taskmaster, also from the Black Widow movie.
Which Sybil's biggest gripe is that Taskmaster lasted all but 2 minutes in this movie.
Yeah, they kind of dropped the ball. Taskmaster is actually pretty cool in the comics.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
But not in this movie.
Yeah, and I think that was it, right?
For that bit, yeah. There's just the 4 of them.
Yeah.
And Bob.
And Bob. We don't know about him.
But Bob came out of a canister in the safe house that was getting incinerated.
Yeah, so Valentina's on trial. They're like, okay, you're doing shady stuff, and we're gonna investigate you. And she's like, okay. So she's scrambling they're shredding the documents. They're emptying out warehouses, and they're doing all the stuff to cover things up.
And killing the contractors.
She's sending each of her contractors on a mission to kill one of the other ones. And then at the end, they're supposed to all just get burned up in a giant incinerator with the rest of the evidence.
But who hears about this before he thinks it's happening is Alexei,
of course,
who is a limo driver
the red
for the rich.
The red. Well, that's how he gets his info too, which is not. It's not.
It's very Russian spy of him.
Well, people are very loose-lipped around service workers or people they think that are unimportant. So
that is true. That is a fair thing to note that they did get right. Is that people are scummy.
Yeah, and they also are openly scummy around people that they think mean nothing or no harm to them.
Yeah. So he overhears that Yelena's on this mission and is going to get incinerated, and so he tries to call her, but she doesn't answer. And then we cut back to them, and the 4 of them start fighting each other. But then they realize that they're all being duped, and they start working together to get out. And Bob,
Bob shows up in the middle
Bob is just there.
All kinds of gunfire.
Yeah,
somebody dies.
Hey, what about Bob? You know what I'm saying?
Taskmaster, Ghost offs Taskmaster. To me, it was insanely cool. Because she just appeared in front of her with the gun. And bye.
It's true. That was very
Ghost.
Cool.
Ghost is obligatory. She's a very attractive woman, but also her powers are she can be intangible. That's incredibly crazy. Overpowered power to have. I think.
I agree.
You can't hit what's not there.
Can't hit what you can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they get out of their little thing, but they're stuck underneath a massive tunnel.
they're working together is hilarious, and it's Bob's bright idea for them to
back-to-back climb all the way up this massive silo that's supposed to be an elevator.
Yeah, that we don't even know how tall it is, but
they were there a while.
Yeah.
And then they get to the top of it, and they don't know how to get everybody out, and John Walker saves them all.
Yeah, they're all trying to come up with a plan. They're all trying to be the leader. Not the leader from Brave New World, who is a little Hulk monster. Not that leader, but they're all trying to be like the captain of the team, and trying to make their plans work.
And John Walker is the one that succeeded.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ghost ultimately gets the vehicle, and
she gets them out of there.
They all play a part, except for Bob.
Yeah. Bob tried to sacrifice himself so that they could all get away, but it turns out Bob is actually a Nexus being.
He's actually bulletproof.
Yeah, and can fly.
Which we catch a glimpse of that.
Yeah,
and
our intrepid heroes escape just this once.
And then Alexei comes and saves
then Alexei shows up like a madman in the desert,
honking, being loud, being very not covert,
and saves them all, and then goes, Yelena, you made friends. You're like a team now. And she's like, I don't have a team. There's no team.
Oh yeah, which she
the
mentions,
last team I was on was my junior soccer team, the Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
and he said, yes, that's us. We're the Thunderbolts. That's very cute.
David Harbour he's a gem. I love him.
And then they start getting chased down by the government. But not the government, just the government that's following Valentina.
Yeah, her criminals. Because she's very upset that she finds out that they got out. They got away. They did not kill each other.
But is very happy to learn that her Centuryman project worked.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing for her.
That was her silver lining.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, go get them, but I'm going to deal with this.
She's like, dang it, they all survived. Oh, but...
Yeah, what about Bob?
But what about Bob?
What about Bob?
He actually survived, and the project worked.
So Valentina shifts her plan from burning everything to the ground to building back Avengers Tower and putting Bob in it in a gross golden spandex suit.
Yeah.
And call himself the Century.
And the reason why this bit that we're doing works is because that is Yelena's question every 15 minutes is, what about Bob?
They go, we did it. We left. He goes, well, what about Bob?
Yeah, he's still out there. We need to protect him. She definitely felt Mama Bird over him, putting her wings out so he doesn't get rained on type.
So they get chased down by the government, and the government trucks all get exploded by the Winter Soldier himself.
Oh yeah,
Bucky Barnes,
very
James
cool.
Buchanan Barnes.
I think seeing Bucky truly, because here's one of the things that I didn't like. It's like, and this is my gripe about Star Wars and a lot of other things. It's like when we're dealing with characters that have these crazy powers, I want to see some crazy stuff, and I think Bucky's showing how amazing of a soldier he is. With his arm, his strength, like we see a few things like there's a car flying in there that's about to crush people and he deflects it with his arm. That's later on in the movie. But like even this one, it's like he takes out 3 Humvees and like
while he's on a motorcycle, no less.
One of them is, and then at the end he flips over by basically stopping it with his arm in a rope. So that's cool. Like seeing him do super soldier stuff I always love that kind of stuff.
And then they all go, yay, we're saved by the Winter Soldier.
That's what they thought at first.
Yeah, and then he flips them over and captures them and takes them back to a warehouse where
I think it was an abandoned gas station.
Yeah, something like that.
On the side of the road, yeah.
Where
they're all tied up.
Yeah, where Alexei's still super pumped because he's like, yes,
I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah.
He's very...
Yeah.
I love there because there's a line of him talking with Bucky and he's like, so what super soldier serum did you get? And he's like, Bucky was like, I don't know, the normal,
the Hydra one.
Normal, Hydra. Yeah. He's like, oh, fancy.
Yeah, mine was the knockoff. It was very funny.
So good. Yeah.
So Bucky's like, I'm gonna go turn you guys in because you're all working with Valentina and whatever, and they're all like,
Elena's like,
and you need to go get Bob.
yeah, Elena's like, well, what about Bob?
And he's like, I don't care about Bob. I want to take Valentina down. She's like, yeah, what about Bob? And then Bucky gets a phone call that's like, hey, there's this thing out there that's flying around, and Valentina's trying to get. Valentina took it in and it's taking it back to the old Avengers Tower or whatever. And he goes, that's Bob, isn't it? Yes, that's Bob. And then Alexei gets excited again because they all have to work together, which means that they're a team.
Yeah, as a team.
And he still thinks they should be named the Thunderbolts. No one else agrees.
No
one else is giving suggestions, though. You know?
Don't you hate those types of people that are like
no,
pointing
I
out the problem all the time? I'm like, bro, how about you offer
give
a solution?
me a solution and we can talk about it.
Yeah, we're all aware of the problem. Let's figure out a solution.
Yeah, I 100%. I hate that.
Biggest gripe about the movie.
So they all go to Avengers Tower and are basically just let in because Valentina is like, look at my beautiful new boy. He's definitely doesn't have a god complex and can't be stopped.
Yeah, well, there's a little montage of I guess is it the training montage? I guess like she definitely is like manipulating him, you know, as a mother figure or something like that.
Since, like all moms do.
Since he definitely has mama problems, mommy issues, and daddy issues. But like they show him like using telekinesis, like he moves the glass on a table, and it's not a lot, but they just show some small things, and then all of a sudden he's in the suit, and they show up,
and is completely loyal to her for some reason.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It's like
that was the part that disturbed me the most. I was
quick.
like, oh, okay, I guess we're moving on with the story now.
His loyalty could be bought very easily and quickly.
Yeah, it's not like she gave him the powers after the fact. He already had the powers, so why would he be loyal? And what's crazy is that like not even like 10 minutes later in the story, he basically says that exactly. He's like, if I'm a god, why do I have to listen to you?
Okay, so here's how I remember I said if I can logically reconcile something. So I would just say that his trauma is so deep and he's fighting the void inside himself so much that the first person who like it was going to be Elena, but now Valentina has created the environment and has said the right words to enable. He's like putty just because his faculties are so weak. His mind is so weak in the sense of he's got so much trauma that he's so willing to accept someone who appears to truly care for him that he's completely devoted himself to her. I mean, I'm sure what we saw, I'm sure was just a small part of her indoctrinating him and making him loyal to her. So I get that we don't see all that, but also we're not going to watch 30 minutes of her just talking to him and trying to prove like, hey, this is why you need to listen to me. But I don't know. To me, it works. He was just troubled and he needed.
Jarvis, my buttons are stuck.
Oh, no.
Hold on. Keep talking.
Technical difficulties.
Keep going. I can make this work.
Okay, so you currently disagree with that, but that's okay. We're used to your takes being not as good as mine. No, I'm just kidding.
Harsh.
So there we go.
It's been fixed.
But I digress. The movie does go on.
So our superhero Bob, who I will not call Sentry, beats up not the new Avengers.
Well, they show up. They show up and they're about to storm the castle, and then Valentina just calls down and is like, "Hey guys, just take the elevator up." Like,
yeah,
you don't need to break all my guards' arms, which I think at least one arm was broken, if not two or three.
Oh, for sure. So they get invited up. Man, it stopped working again. It's okay.
Sticky keys, sticky buttons.
It's me. That's fine. I can do it like this. Yeah. So there's such a delay. It's fine. New equipment. We're making it work.
Yeah. Bear with us. We're figuring it out.
I think when I plug it in, you guys can hear it. That's great. That's actually really funny to me. Anyways.
So
this is showbiz, man.
Yeah, they go up in the elevator.
And they go meet up with Valentina, and she's like, I bought the Avengers Tower. Don't try to kill me. This is my boy. His name is Bob, and he is invincible. Don't even try to stop him. And then they try to stop him, and it doesn't work.
She makes a claim that he's stronger than all of the original Avengers put together.
Yeah. Which I think is supposed to be the case. I don't know. It's really not that clear.
Essentially in the comics,
we're just being told these things, and we just have to accept them. You know what it is that bothers me about this? It's the story rules show don't tell. We're just being told that he's like super strong and really, really, really powerful.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't get to see that truly tested. In the comics, the Sentry fights one of the strongest versions of the Hulk to a standstill. The Sentry usually has to hold back, and with the Incredible Hulk at his angriest at that time in his comic book stories, it was pretty impressive that he was able to stand toe-to-toe with the Hulk in that state. So we don't get to see a lot of context for that. You're right. It's just told to us. In the comics, it's clearly backed up. I mean, I think one of the greatest panels in the comics is he's on the Dark Avengers, and they literally go to Asgard, I think, and the Sentry rips the Greek god Ares into two pieces with his bare hands. So that's impressive. That's like him ripping Thor in two pieces, because I think that Thor is on that same level of that pantheon, the Greek pantheon gods.
Yeah.
Like, I think because we saw that, like, Hercules and all those other Greek gods, like they're pretty at the same level.
They're very powerful. But this is the cinematic universe, and they're just telling us that he's really strong, and that's part of the problem. And then they back it up by putting them up against the actual like strongest people in Marvel right now? No, a bunch of individual contractors with no training.
Just like 3 or 4 people with super soldier serum, and then some regular humans.
And one
just
highly trained assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool guys.
Yeah.
Literally nobody with what I would consider to be superpowers, except for Ghost. But Ghost is it can just be intangible.
Yeah, she could be intangible and he can't hurt her, but she also can't do any damage to him ever. So
so it's a stalemate. It doesn't work.
Well, I mean, eventually he would catch her. He's too. I feel like the fight is pretty cool. It does put in perspective, like, this guy, like, there's no sense of danger.
Yeah, he's like obviously strong.
Them. Yeah, and also his speed is pretty cool.
Yeah.
We get a whole, like, what I would call like a Dragon Ball Z type thing where he punches somebody and then is behind them to catch them.
Or the Shadow from the Sonic 3 movie.
Oh yeah, that too.
Where he does that in Shibuya.
Oh yeah, very cool, very cool. So he's
top 3 movie.
He's strong.
Top 2 sometimes.
Top 20.
Take the 0 off of the 20.
But yeah, so I thought that was cool. I definitely
thought it was cool too.
Maybe liked a little more of it.
Yeah,
but whatever. Maybe for the next time he shows up, we'll get to see him do some cool stuff.
Yeah, and so they all leave because they can, I guess. And they go, "Man, we suck," and they all split ways. And Alexi's like, "No, we're a team."
They have a mini falling out. It's that rom-com where for some reason they get into that big fight that's easily avoidable if they were just a little bit more clear.
And then fate brings them back together. Yeah.
So this is that part of the
But
movie.
in this sense, fate is Bob and his god complex showing up, and he turns into Void.
Yeah.
Which was a cool effect. I actually really want to know how
you could say he succumbed to the dark side.
Yeah. The Void was really cool visually speaking.
Yeah, because
I liked the way it looked.
He was literally just like...
But it wasn't just like completely black. Like they had highlights, shadows.
And his
which
eyes
was cool.
were going in a creepy way. So
yeah, I liked that. It was neat.
Very good.
And then everything started falling apart.
Not too different than how they did the Eyes and Sinners, I think.
Probably not. Probably not very different.
Yeah, so we liked Sinners.
Sinners good. Go see Sinners. Like 3 times.
We have the review up already. Watch it after this.
The whole thing too.
Yeah.
The full review.
Yeah, all hour and a half of it.
It's good. With Hunter.
With Hunter.
So Void starts seeping darkness into the whole city.
He just starts voiding.
Yeah, he's voiding everything.
He's voiding everybody from life. He's like, you're voided, you're voided.
Yelena and Alexei have a little bit of a moment that was really good, where Alexei's like, you can't just leave, we're a team. And she is like, I don't have anything, dude. I'm like, I hate my job. I go home and I like scroll on my phone until I wake up the next day and go do more things that I hate. And my dad's not even there for me. I lost my sister twice, and she's like gone for good, and I don't even have my dad.
Yeah.
And that was his like, shit. I'm not a good dad.
He was like, touche, you got me there.
Yeah. But then he's very sweet.
Yes.
And brings her back into it. And then they see things going on with Void.
Well, she literally just goes into the Void by herself, and everybody's like, no.
Yeah. And then they all like are freaking out and are like, well, maybe she did it for a reason. Like maybe she knows something we don't. And in the Void world, she's dealing with all of her like past traumas that everyone would try to avoid. And eventually,
which was apparently for her, selling out her friend, a childhood friend, to literally be murdered.
Yeah, to the red room, which is sad. But yeah, I
very
would
traumatic.
Yeah,
and there's nothing she can do to change it either.
No, and that's
she tries.
Part of the problem.
Yeah.
But she travels through a couple of traumas and finds Bob just sitting in one of his traumas.
The room was the least scary of the rooms that he had available to him.
And he said that's just where he was going to stay because it was the easiest one to just chill in. And Elena is like, hey, maybe we can do this together. Like, you don't have to go through all this by yourself. And then the rest of the Not Avengers show up and literally break into the nightmare and are like, well, I'll do it together. And they find Void in one of the nightmares, and they all get trapped, and Bob starts beating the shit out of Void, which everyone knows I'm a big fan of the bad guy getting punched in the face. It's great.
But that's like all part of the plan.
Yeah.
For the Void, yeah.
Yeah, and Yelena breaks out and is like, no, don't do that. This isn't who you are. And then they all hug.
Yeah, he the Void is like, yes, let the anger flow through you.
Yeah, very, very Palpatine-esque.
And somehow he came back.
Somehow he came back. The dead speak. Oh, man. You have no idea how many times this week alone I've been reminded about that atrocity.
Bro, it's one of the worst.
I think it's because I saw all three prequels again. And even though they're like kind of campy and really like
the dialogue is
not good.
Yeah.
The dead speak is probably like the most egregious thing ever. Jar Jar Binks was better than the dead speak.
Yeah, literally Poe Dameron saying somehow he's returned.
It's the worst thing. And you can see Oscar Isaac in that too, like somehow he's back.
Back somehow.
It's so funny.
and then another one. Sorry to get another tangent, but another line from that. I am the spy. Like, oh come on, I am the spy. Really? How far can your eyes roll back into the back?
Anyways, so the Thunderbolts they do it. They succeed, and New York gets returned back to normal. Nobody's dead. That's the good news. Because that one really. Did you have your theater gasp when that little girl got voided?
Yes,
dude, that was awesome.
Bro, that was unexpected in the best way.
Yeah,
dude, that was so good.
I also sat there and I was like, oh, that's a bold thing to do.
Yes,
because you're not really.
Did you laugh when she got voided?
No, I went.
You held it back.
Well, it's because there's another like unspoken rule of Hollywood. You don't show kids getting killed.
Yeah.
So the fact that they like did that was one of their hints. That's like, hey, they're not dead.
Yeah.
That was one of the hints. But like in the moment, you're like, damn, that's brutal.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't think anybody was seeing that coming because she just got saved. So that was cool.
Man.
Let me say this real quick. The part where we see Bob's trauma, bro, that was my trigger. Like I definitely started crying because I was like, oh,
his parents.
That was my experience, like growing up and stuff like that. So that was a traumatic trigger.
I did not have that experience, but I did have my parents fight a lot. Not about me being not enough, because my parents, I love you both very much. They didn't really care.
I was it was like nail on the head for me for all of it. So, except for
It's a very common thing, unfortunately.
I'm sure a lot of people could relate.
Just like
the
the movie we're gonna do after this is also a very relatable. Like, why did everyone grow up with some form of this?
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Anyways, the Thunderbolts, they win.
Connected.
Yeah, it's all connected. The Thunderbolts, they win. Valentina capitalizes on this opportunity to introduce her new team of the new Avengers. And I did sit there for a moment. And I was like, Yelena's just going to punch her in the mouth. But she didn't. She went, we own you now.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fair.
Yeah. You wanted to see that punch in the face.
Dude, I really wanted the moment to be like, no, we're not. The whole thing was about how they're not a team, you know?
Yeah.
They're not a team, but they work okay together.
That's like in the movies when one character says to another, "I'm never going to leave you." Then you know they're about to die or leave. So,
yeah, I guess that's fair. Well, let's transition. Let's transition into our last part here, so we can talk about this better.
Okay.
Hey, you look good over there.
Look real good.
We thought about sharing your kindness with others.
Share the love.
Maybe like the video. Click on that subscribe button and show your friends.
Yeah, just touch it ever so lightly, that like button. Move over to the subscribe button. Maybe tap your keyboard just a little bit. Leave a comment. Bye.
That's it.